What is up, Critics? In this video I'm going to be giving a prediction list as to what cars I personally think will get in the brand new December DLC that's most likely releasing on December 14th based on the event week ending on Monday instead of the usual Wednesday. Rockstar usually only does this when there's a DLC about to release on that Tuesday. Now, if some of you remember the last prediction video I made before the Tuners DLC came out, I was actually correct on a lot of the cars that released in the update, including the ZR350 based on the Mazda RX-7, the Nissan 370Z, the Nissan Silvia, the Honda S2000, and the Supra Mark V as well. So a lot of you guys wanted me to make another prediction video for this new December DLC. Now, for the Tuners DLC earlier this year, we received a total of 17 new vehicles, and it was arguably one of the best updates we had gotten in a while. And I think this will be a good gauge as to what we can expect of the next DLC, as it's rumored to be very similar to the Tuners update with the contracts and such. So again, in that update we received a total of 12 sports cars, 2 muscle cars, 2 sedans, and 1 coupe class vehicle. And if we mix this with the 2020 summer DLC, I think we can expect a couple supercars, some SUVs, a couple classic cars, and off-road vehicles as well. I think Rockstar is kind of done with the open wheel cars and motorcycles as well. We haven't really gotten an actual good motorcycle, and we haven't had an open wheel car since the summer update of 2020. So I'm not going to really mention any open wheel cars or bikes in this video because I honestly don't think we're going to get any for this December update. But anyways, judging by the Rockstar vehicle release patterns with those two DLCs, we can roughly expect about 1 or 2 supercars, 5 to 6 sports cars, 2 or 3 muscle cars, 1 or 2 sports classics, 1 or 2 SUVs, 1 or 2 off-road class vehicles, and 1 compact car. Now obviously this is just speculation. Again, I did state this was a prediction video. This is just us trying to think about what Rockstar might give us based on what the community has been wanting for a while. So the way I'm going to be structuring this list is based on the vehicle class patterns I just mentioned. So starting off with the supercar class, I believe a new overflawed vehicle inspired by the Koenigsegg Gemera or the Koenigsegg Jesko could be a very likely addition to the game. It's been over 3 years since we received a Koenigsegg inspired vehicle in game, and the Entity XXR was a bit of a disappointment with the slow handling flags and the generic exhaust notes, so I do think a new Koenigsegg is very likely. And lastly, for the supercar class, I believe a new Ocelot vehicle inspired by the Lotus Evija, which is a crazy electric hypercar with over 2,000 horsepower, could also be a very likely addition as well. Moving on to the sports car class, I believe a new Annis vehicle inspired by the new Nissan 400Z is an extremely high possibility due to all the press it has received over the past few months. Next up, I believe a new Dinka vehicle inspired by the first generation Acura/Honda NSX is a high possibility as well, based on the legendary JDM cars they added in the last update. Moving along, I believe a new Karen or Meibatsu vehicle inspired by the Evo 8 or the Evo 9 is also very likely. With all the love they've been giving to the Sultans lately, I think a new Kuruma variant is definitely possible. Moving along, I think a new Dinka vehicle inspired by the Toyota Supra Mark III is a high possibility as well, as they can maybe call it the Jester Retro or something like that. I think that's a very cool car they can add. Now, some honorable mentions for the sports class include the E46 BMW M3, the DC2 Integra Type R, the Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4, and the Corvette C5, which had a similar model in GTA 4. Moving on to the muscle car class, the community has been wanting this one for a very long time, and I think a new Declasse vehicle inspired by the 6th generation Camaro is a high possibility due to the Gauntlet Hellfire and the Dominator GTX we already have in game. We're really just missing that Camaro to finish off the American muscle car trio. Next up, I believe a new Bravado vehicle inspired by the Dodge Charger Hellcat widebody is a very high possibility, as it's something the community has been wanting for a very long time. I'm guessing they'll most likely call it the Buffalo Hellfire or something of those sorts. And lastly, this one is a bit far-fetched, but as we know, we have a few different trucks in the muscle car class, and I think a new one inspired by the second generation Ford SVT Lightning could be possible due to the new Lightning kind of shining some light on that name again. Moving on to the Sports Classics class, I think a new vapid vehicle inspired by the 1960s Ford GT40 is bound to happen at some point. I've been putting this one in my prediction videos for a while, and I think we can all agree that it should really be in the game already, alongside the FMJ and the Bullet, which are two Ford GT variants, 05 and 2017. I really hope we get kind of the one that made the car what it is in this update, the GT40. Anyways, next up, I believe a new Ocelot vehicle inspired by the Jaguar E-Type is a very likely possibility as well. It's one of the most beautiful classic sports cars ever made, and I'm honestly surprised we don't have it in GTA yet. And lastly, I believe a new benefactor vehicle inspired by the 1931 Mercedes Grosser 770, which was featured in the Netflix movie Red Notice. I think this could be a possible really good drip feed vehicle for Valentine's Day, as Rockstar likes to use that kind of era as a theme for those mini Valentine's Day updates, and we've seen this in the past with the Roosevelt and the Roosevelt Valor, so this prediction really isn't too far-fetched. Moving on to the SUVs class, I believe a new Enos vehicle inspired by the Rolls-Royce Cullinan is very likely. It is rumored that Dr. Dre will be featured in this DLC, as he made an appearance in one of the Gallo Perico setup missions for those of you who remember. I think this is the perfect vehicle to maybe reintroduce him in-game. And lastly, I believe a new Bravado or Canis vehicle inspired by the Hellcat-powered Jeep Trackhawk or the Durango Hellcat would be a great addition as well for some more competition in the SUVs class against the Toros and Novak and stuff like that. Moving on to the off-roads class, I believe a new Bravado vehicle inspired by the Ram TRX is a high possibility since its direct competitor is the Ford Raptor, which we already have in game as the car 4x4. Now this Hellcat powered off-road truck, I think this would be a very good addition to the game that a lot of people would buy. And lastly, for the off-roads class, a new Mammoth vehicle inspired by the Hummer EV, which is an electric off-road vehicle that makes 1,000 horsepower. And seeing as Rockstar likes to add in electric cars from time to time, I think this would be a great opportunity for them to add this one to the off-roads class. And lastly, we have the compacts class. I believe a new Anis vehicle inspired by some variant of the Mazda Miata is very likely. Now this car could be in the sports class, but because of its compact size, I think it's also possible to be a compact class vehicle as well. Anyways guys, hope you enjoyed the video and my vehicle predictions as to what cars I think Rockstar might release in the new December update. Now obviously these are just predictions, but I personally think we have a high possibility of getting some of these in game. Let me know down below in the comments what vehicles you personally think Rockstar will most likely release. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.